Well, I'm usually the cynic in the room. I'm usually the old man yelling at the clouds, and I was like, guys, let's see how Angel does. I don't know. Here, this is my trailer reaction to some of those clips. I feel like it's fair to be skeptical. It's fair to have your guard up because so many things right now are not as they seem. Hollywood doesn't seem to have reverence. They don't seem to treat things with any sense of context to the original creation. It becomes more like how you feel. As I said, I'm having a hard time buying it's as bad as everybody thinks it's going to be.
What did you say?
So the bigger question is, who is this actually for? And is the backlash warranted or not? Is a fair question, but also is like, who is this going to be for? Who's going to go? Well, folks, I'm here to talk about the film, what aged well and did not age well from those comments, because the missus wanted to go see The Animal Farm. I was kind of meh on going to see it right away. And she wanted to go check it out, support Angel Studios. I had tried to tell her that they didn't make this film. They picked it up for distribution only. Told her a little bit about some of the stuff that was in the trailers. I wasn't sure she kind of got some of the stuff and what we were kind of concerned about, because reality is it was much, much worse than I thought. And it is just literally a bad, bad film.
There's no supposed to anymore, okay? We're free. For example, I'm about to fart right now. This is the sound of freedom. What the hell's the matter with you?
I don't know what there is to say after that. I mean, literally the farting of the sound of freedom is so on the nose and has not proven to be a positive thing for these folks. It does kind of lend itself to some generic problems along the way. I felt that it kind of got everything wrong, and even that the things I didn't really harp on in my trailer reaction was like the voice cast and some of those elements, but it was bad. I don't know who Laverne Cox is. I didn't know, but her voice seemed off for Snowball. She never felt like a positive rallying voice. She seemed like an irritating, I don't want to say an irritating mom, but she almost feels like the irritating lady at like the PTA meeting. Like she just knows better than everyone else, not the voice of good in the wilderness. And she just didn't come across as loving and nurturing or anything that you call. So even when she's sort of dispatched and dismissed out of the situation, we just really don't care that much. It just didn't really work, because at the end of the day, it's more about Lucky and this villainous, and then the Seth Rogen, you know, shenanigans that he kind of plays up and all that. Because here's Lucky, voiced by Dustin from Stranger Things. It's just not lending itself to the things that you want. Here's that famous, laughter house, slaughterhouse gag that we talked about. But it's the fat pig, all the little jokes with all the different animals. And I don't know, man. It just, everything about it, the pacing is really bad in this movie. And I have to be honest, the Seth Rogen over the top thing just keeps going, and they don't really pull off the villain thing. Like the only reason Lucky, our little childlike embodiment avatar in this movie, is beholden to his character Napoleon is because he like fake saves his life. And I think the problem is because when you've saturated the story down with the Elon Musk mom, voiced by Glenn Close, this sort of like bizarre crony corporate messaging that's kind of blended in. I mean, literally, she has a Cybertruck. It's so ridiculous, and it just kind of waters everything down, because now it's more about mass consumerism. It's more about the crony capitalist, and she's just greedy and all of that, and not about the true nature of Animal Farm. And Animal Farm is not about wealth and overconsumption. It's literally commentary and a warning of Soviet Russia, of communism, right, of Stalin. And it's so on the nose. I don't understand why. Well, I do now know, because when I did my trailer reaction, I didn't know Andy Serkis was a 1990s card holding socialist, right? I didn't know that, right? Because that's a huge red flag, because that's them looking at things differently. That's why you'll get the wealth and overconsumption messaging, because that's on brand for him. He doesn't want to look at Animals Farm as like the progression of socialism is the new elite. He would be part of the new elite, so he wouldn't want to look in the mirror and realize he'd be on the wrong side of history, where he would oppress those that don't agree with him and all of that. I think that, when you're taking political references and allegories and reducing them to fat jokes and fart jokes and animal shenanigery that is not in the original animated cartoon and are just there for cheeky 2026 gags, it just doesn't work. And like I said in that review, who is this for? And the answer is nobody, because nobody's going. So I had not seen this, but I did try not to watch reviews, but I saw a couple commentary that but the box office was so bad, like $3 million. They paid for a lot of that $3 million because they gave away so many seats. And allegedly, there are whole auditoriums that are kind of like bought out, or a whole bunch of seats are taken. And then you go there and they're completely empty. Now, ours was not like that, but there were a bunch of seats that were taken and there was no one in the auditorium. The missus and I were the only ones in our auditorium, but there were on the map probably 10 other seats, including ones that we normally sit in, that were already taken. So I'm not trying to fuel the conspiracy theory here, but they basically did kind of like what Disney has done. We know they pumped up movies like Captain Marvel and Black Panther. They pre-purchased tickets. They, do these giveaways, which is it's been part of business, just not on this kind of scale. And Angel has really, really dropped the ball. The other thing too that has come to light is that there's all these paid shills and reviewers. And again, I did not watch them. I did see some thumbnails. I'm sort of shocked. I didn't know they had paid and put money out there for what's her name, Riley Gaines or Tucker Carlson's, or these people to say positive things, because who watched this movie? It's bad. And I mean, it navigates through this, rise up against the laughter house and fight back, and then we can, the Lucky and Snowball can read, so I don't know why the farmer would have all of these engineering books in their house, but reality is they can figure out how to navigate through different things to run the farm. And then the evil lady is like, I'll get their farm someday. And there's no immediate response, by the way. It's all just conveniences. Like, the story doesn't make any sense. Like, when they run off that group, no one else comes in immediately. There's no police. There's no animal control. There's nothing actually happens. They sort of take control, and it doesn't make any sense. And you end up with just she uses as a way to entice Napoleon little by little. He gets in there. He sees being mocked because he's a pig. So therefore he should stay on two legs. He should wear clothes. And it becomes like TikTok satire, if you will. It becomes like, creator content. Like, that's kind of how I felt anyway. Kieran Culkin plays the little squeaker guy who's the one who crashes the sports car into the pool. Just stupid, cheeky nonsense. And we just lose any of the weight, any of the gravity from the original source material. It's completely bad. And the reality is the pigs were evil. That's the whole point. They didn't have power, and they kind of rose to power, and they just oppressed people, and they would take out their enemies. And nothing is set up enough that you care. Like, when Boxer's taken away, the horse is taken away. Woody Harrelson's voice is not right either, by the way. Didn't really throw stones at that. But it's not as bad as some of the other stuff, but it was. You didn't care as much. It was like a cry moment when you were a kid and you watched this when I was a kid. Like, oh my God, the horse is going to the glue factory. Like, holy cow. Like, it was traumatizing and intense. And that is not the thing. So I was very shocked that was all the thing. And I don't know much about this other piece, but I can say that if this is where they're going with the next phase of criticism, is you're going to basically do exactly what those other companies do. And that is, you're going to make fun of your audience. You're going to mock them now. Like, it's about a loud minority. And the audience is like the pigs. We don't get it. So therefore we're the problem. Angel, I don't know how you're going to dig yourself out of that mess. So when I say this is a disaster, it is a disaster in every every avenue. It's a disaster for the studio who bought this sight unseen. Hopefully, maybe they thought this was an olive branch to bring in more Hollywood talent. They thought it was a good investment for going forward. It is a bad film for the brand because it is not only anti-communist. It has all of this other underpinnings with capitalism, whatever. It's a bad look with partnering with people like Andy Serkis and Seth Rogen and some of the others that are in this film. I don't know much about many of the other cast members, but that's a bad look. And then to turn around and then you're blaming fans, you're paying reviewers or critics. It is a mess all around. Absolute unmitigated mess. And I got to admit, most of Hollywood is probably laughing at them right now. And I can't tell you to go see it. I don't know what to say. I'm certain it is so much worse than I expected. I mean, I'm talking this movie is maybe a 1 out of 5, 2. It's definitely not a 2. There are way better movies that are a 2. This is an unmitigated pace. I mean, oh man, what is star and a half? Maybe. That's like a 3 out of 10, I guess. I mean, that's literally how bad we're talking. We're talking, this is the bottom. By far the worst thing they've done that I've ever seen. One of the worst films I can imagine probably in the whole year, and a complete devastating project for the studio itself. So catch me up on some of their stuff. I guess I can now watch some of these videos and reviews and see what is the actual take on people who've seen it, because I don't know. I just see all these comments and I'm like, wait, there's no way someone thought this was good. I just can't believe it. And then I see all this paid chill stuff, whatever. So yeah, what an absolute mess. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Pops.